and I also have none other than Mono Mukundu. Now, he is a legendary musician, award-winning music producer, but he joins us in the Situation Room wearing the hat of an author. His latest publication, Man Vacuum, brings to the fore focal issues on the program, which are mostly grounded on the dynamic imbalances of gender, including the dreaded emasculation of the boy child. Mono, great to have you on the show.
Thank you, Glenda, and thank you for having me.
Now, let's talk about issues around choosing building blocks. We're talking here about the ideas, the beliefs, the values, the practices and cultures that are then deliberately inserted or deposited into our children's hearts and minds by society. When we spoke about you coming to the show, you then posted on your Facebook page, Mono Mukundu, you said there's what they call raising children and maintaining children. That I found interesting. Let's talk about that. Let's just get into that. What's the difference?
Yeah, the difference is maintaining a child is giving a child whatever he wants or whatever she wants. If she wants a doll, you buy the doll. If she wants money to go to the movies, you give her the money. But that's not raising a child. Raising a child is an effect on the child's psychological health, how they behave, how they interact with other children, how they respect older people, how they obey even the laws of the land. That's raising a child. And if a child comes in this room and everybody says, this child is well raised, they are not talking about the fees that was paid at school. They are not talking about the food that the child ate at home. They are talking about how the child was raised. Because the child, you can tell the child is not spoiled, the child is well-mannered. That has nothing to do with the clothes that the parents bought. So buying clothes, buying whatever the kids want, and paying for the fees and everything, that's maintenance. But when it comes to the child's behavior and how they interact with everybody, how they obey even the laws of the land, that's raising a child. So there's a difference between raising a child and maintaining a child.
Interesting perspective, but I also try to just look at what we're seeing today. Is there more of raising children, or there's more of maintenance of children? Because I want to try and understand, looking back at how we were socialized, is it different?
Yeah, there's a huge difference. Because if you look at how we were raised, every time you try to misbehave, if your mother looked at you, there was a talking eye that we all grew up knowing. Yeah. She would just look at you, and the look would have a paragraph or two paragraphs or an essay, a full essay, and then you behave. These days, people think it's modern to have a child who is spoiled. Stop it, Tanaka, stop it. People think it's modern. People think they're being progressive, but they're killing the children. And there are a number of issues that are contributing. And one of the issues that contributes is when parents divorce or when they separate. A mother might say, I don't want my child to see the father. And they might think that they are fixing the father, but they are also fixing the child. Because having a father who is absent in a child's life, it also affects the child's psychological health. And my psychologists, they say a child benefits more from his father's money, his father's time, than from his father's money. So it's not about maintenance, it's about spending time with the child. And my daddy issues, even warasikana akakura sina baba ndo vanova vangodara nemadhara because they are craving that adult male attention. Uzona mwana ne 15 years arumaya nezidhara rine dumbu so
kokana takutarisa vakomana, because I'm seeing here urungoti zvona my daddy issues panapa, the girl child, this is then what happens and how then it translates to how they turn out. Takatarisa the boy child, how does one with daddy issues turn up?
Yeah, with the boy child marriage, it's even worse because there's a man that I follow very much, is an author known as Dr. Farrell. He wrote a book called The Boy Crisis.
The Boy Crisis.
And in the book, he listed a number of issues that he says are caused by having absent fathers and the effects is on the boy children. You see that most boys who grow up without their fathers, they end up in criminal gangs. They perform poorly in school. They are most likely to use drugs. Right now, I think we've got a serious drug issue in Zimbabwe, and they are most likely to be sexually and physically abused, and they are usually aggressive, and they engage in violent and criminal behavior. They are also most likely to be expelled from school or drop out of school. Those are the psychological effects of having an absent father on the side of the boys. And I can even give you a testimony. When I grew up, my parents split up when I was I think I was 12. And I didn't like how my father treated my mother. And when they split up, there was a lot of fights. My mother was beaten up. There was domestic violence. So when I went to school, I just found myself being very aggressive towards male teachers. I had no problems with female teachers.
Okay.
But every time I had problems with male teachers, and every time they wanted to administer punishment to me, I would refuse or act violently. And every time I was always at the headmaster's office. So when I grew up, when I started reading books on psychology, I started looking back and asking myself, why did I have these problems? Then I noticed that I was angry at my father for the way he was treating my mother. So we find what happens at home, it really affects how a child is raised.
All right, interesting. Now, I'm thinking this is how you reacted to what was going on around you. And when you then got married, what kind of person did you decide, no, I don't want to be this person? Or what made you decide to treat someone different? And did you get help by any chance? Because at this particular time, you were taking it out on male teachers. You know what I'm saying? But how did it turn out for you?
I made a conscious decision, whoever I'm going to marry, I'm going to take my time and make sure this is the right person for me, and so that I will never have to end up divorcing. Because it's one thing that I made up my mind with, I would never want to divorce, number one. Number two, because I want all my kids to be where I am. So these are decisions that I made when I was still a boy, and knowing that I'm a musician, and musicians are usually associated with a lot of divorces and with a lot of child spacing. So it's a conscious decision that I made when I was still very single. So by the time I got married, I had made up my mind that was what in the Emuno and Runa Zopindrananaye. So right now we are 27 years into the marriage, and everything is still intact, and I managed to stick to my principles. Interesting.
Boniface, conscious decision. I'm just trying to think here, doesn't it just come to a point where we're looking at you guys because you're in the spotlight, but all of these things are happening to the ordinary people out there, and because the Mimi Murim spotlight, it just seems like you have all these other issues that come into play, and then people get to see, because Tinema shares in your life somehow because you are in the spotlight. But divorces happen every day. Should I stick around, Mono? Should I stick around, Boniface? Nichona kuti zona bodo sheweka ndingazama kuda kuti zvibatane asi shewe havasi kundibata zvakanaka. Azvizinane here for my peace of mind and all that, to get out of such a situation. Isn't it possible then to raise a child away from this man who's probably abusive to me?
I think it's important. I like when Mono says he made a conscious decision. I think it's very important because it then informs whatever steps he took to make sure that he achieves the personality, the integrity that he has today. That also then speaks to the building blocks. I would say, simply from what he's just summarized, that he had the right building blocks. Whether he chose those blocks for himself, or whether those building blocks were chosen for him at home or at school, we don't know. But those are some of the building blocks that we are saying. How can we ensure that our children espouse those building blocks so that they can end up achieving their goals, their desires, and can have integrity that is respected by society, Glenn?
Indeed. Mono, you spoke here about the way we're raising children. most of us, we've seen parents saying, mwana atadza enda kunoti kona, akucharo istaiziya kuti ziso ramai raitaura, as you said, kuti waitoziya kuti kana vaenda vaeni pane zvichaitika ende zinaumira mushe, ende waiziya kuti izvona pane kamwe kaunhu kawainawo kacontrol, because waiziya kuti there is no way I can get away with certain things. But mazuano, there are different parenting styles that have been put across. I'm not too sure if they're working. But what would you say around my building blocks? What do we need to ensure that we nurture and socialize our children the right way, so that vachizoita ma-adult paneka kurongeka karipo?
I think our main problem is that we are trying too much to copy from the West. And I think when you want to copy technology, music, business, and everything else, you can copy from the West. But when it comes to marriages and raising children, copy from the West, copy madofocha, because those people, they are the West when it comes to marriages and family life in general. Because even right now, all their movies, they're just portraying everybody hates Chris, Chibaba ndochinja wangu pusa vanawari wild, even my cartoons here wana The Simpsons.
But look, sorry to
Baba ndoni wangu pusa.
It's you kupusa Glenda. Kupusa kwa mungu tauro. Kuri important for us to know what do you think causes that?
Uya ndandu usvika ikoko.
Okay.
Because ndaruda kubata pabvunzwa pevana papanyedzi dzekusadiscipline kwano kuti that element manje tubva takopa that from the West manje.
Okay.
And that's why I'm even against nyaya yekuti kana udaurora baby unopfugama kuti will you marry me, why are you kneeling down?
Asisi zvedu here.
We are copying everything from the West. Tiri kudya chingwa neplastic racho.
So takutora zvisi zvedu toda kukudza vana.
I appreciate and respect the Asians, but they were also colonized like us. But what they did is they just copied the technology, the advancement, and even English. Indians want a chance for business, but culture are maintained. Even my religions are maintained. But Susu Manje, we copy everything to not just chingwa ne plastic racho. So I wanted to come to Nyayaku discipline or go and the Western world has got problem with my extremes.
Okay.
Because in the 19th century, they used to ill-treat one. I don't know if you remember the story of Oliver Twist. Yeah, that was a true story. I mean, it's not a true story, but it was based on true events. Because they used to use children to clean up chimneys, mining coal, dangerous. Chimneys. That's what the Western world used to do. Even my orphanages, in Africa we didn't have my orphanages because we had extended families and everything. So they used to ill-treat their children. So pavakatanga kuadvance vakabvaenda futi on the extreme side futi pavakatanga kuita overprotective. So we don't need to be overprotective because at number bhira ill-treata vana vedu kudaro, we were always disciplining our children. So my point is vanoda kurohwa kana vaita musarinya, because ini vangu ini ndairohwa zvokuti every time ndaiti ndikaenda kuchikoro kwemwana wangu musikana ndaitobvunzwa nematicha acho kunzi name, how did you raise your kid, your daughter? Because hanzi even because pambari pagirls school saka hanzi paimboya maschools gaivakomana like vana Prince Edward vaidiwa nemabhebi stereka, hanzi mabhebi mazhinji aibva arasa muswe, but wangu yaonekwa angorelaxa. So because ndakamugara naye pasi kuti one, mwana anorohwa, number two, anogarwa naye pasi, anofanira kuzata rurowirwei kwete kungozvambura chete. Ona saka ndotomudza kuti iwe ukaona mabhebi anoteerwa stereki nevakomana isindi kuti ndo vakanaka stereki, because they are ndo vari available. Because prostitution and promiscuity is not about beauty, it's about availability. That's why you know kuti bhebi riri loose rinoteerwa, so it's like a public toilet. Munhu wese akapreswa andoshandisa public toilet. But tikazoti who wants to own the public toilet? No one wants to own it. Ndangopreswa ndoshandisa public toilet. Saka kana munhu ari loose, mukadzi ari loose zvezvo chaari kuwana from guys vari kumuteera, it's not love, it's sexual attention, and it's not love. saka bhozi varume we are very visually stimulated and sexually tine testosterone and inotonzi the sex hormone is many times more in men than in women. That's why wachiona kuti varume they are very sexually active kupfuura vakadzi. Saka ukangomirizika pamberi pangu tokusona zveshuwa wosaka kuti varume imbwa kana tiri imbwa chiregedza kuita kunge bhonzo ukaita kunge bhonzo pamberi pembwa unotetenwa.
But anyway, get in touch with us, be part of the conversation, join the Situation Room, and we're talking about building blocks. What are we doing in nurturing and raising our children? Are we raising our children right? That's the question we're asking today. And I have in studio none other than Mono Mukundu, and today he's wearing the hat of an author. He has written a book called Man Vacuum, brings you the full focal issues that we're talking about today. And we want you to be a part of the conversation. My name is Glenda, back to back with Boniface Chimedza. So be part of the conversation. We have messages coming in. Someone says, following issue Yema absent fathers, it manifests later in life where the children tend to support their mother than father because there was no bond between father and child. This is a message coming in from Enes Fulao. Boniface, I know kuti now we my absent father mono ataura kuti dzimwe nguwa mai vanogona kutotaura kuti izvona nekuti akandibata rafu handichatodi kuti izvo have anything to do with my child. Am I wrong though, Mono, to say kuti izvona because akandibata rafu? Maybe you are abusive. I don't want you to have anything to do with my children.
That's child abuse. Was
how do you say it's
the father being absent in the child's life? It's a serious psychology. It causes serious psychological problems. So it's child abuse. Because if you had problems with the father, that's between you and the father. Sakasia mwana akure with a proper setup, with a proper family setup. Because we are mammals.
Inachiri proper because ndiri kudeni kwangu ndiri kuchengeta mwana iuri kwakuta divorce. Inachiri proper.
That one, it's a setup yatoputsika udhara. Saka patautotsvaga plan B. Takutsvaga
plan B kuti zviendeke.
Zviendeke because ngirini kana matokanyana udhara. And I think people should be taught to be sexually responsible. Because I'm surprised kuti people who sleep with each other, personal protection, also shamisika kuti waita nombo. How can you be surprised? Because vavandu vachigara chibaiko shamisika kuti chabuda. Kana matorara personal protection, there's a 50% likelihood kuti pachatika pregnant. Saka don't be shocked.
All right, that's one scenario, Mono. Pane scenario yekuti tarambana. Inini ndotoona senge you're going to be a bad influence in my child's life. Don't I have the right as a mother to say, you know what? And it's menguva variko zveshuwa, but ndinotoda kutoti ave part of my child's life, but unotoona kuti indurani. Pane varume was I don't want to put it this way, but let me just put it this way. Varume vasiri varume, they will not actively take that role to take care of their child. They just plan.
I think the problem is you are saying my child. That's what we do.
Yeah, but because
but I think what I want to pin Glenda here. Your statement, you're going to pane varume vasiri varume, is deep.
It's deep. I was looking for a lighter.
Or maybe it's a whole different conversation, but it's important. What makes a man a man?
A man is a provider, takes care of things. You know what I'm saying? This is me just thinking, Kuti, if you're a man, you gotta take care of your responsibilities. Aunga fambi uchijara kwese and then not take care of your babies and whatever.
But the child also has a right to know their father, even as the mother. I know, but we're talking about the child here. The child has the right to know whether vachigara mugomo, whether vane gumbo wani, whether vasina kana ndided vangwa. How they then relate is fair. It's important to give them a platform to create their own relationship.
All right, I've given them that platform. Mono help. I've given them that platform.
There are two scenarios here. The first scenario in the baba vasoda vachengeta mwana. That one, it's understandable. Kuti vagara vasuda kuita part of the child's life. Avasuda kuenda kuona mwana, vadazotemera kuzoya pfuma yapo. Kuti vakabatwa rafu nemwana munoita kakuzvinzwisisa. So I'm talking of the case where the father is willing to be in the life of the child. Then amayotaura kuti no, because wakandibata rafu. You don't have that right because ngirine mwana asi wako wega. The way to taste. So mwana has got the right to know baba wake and to kuti baba wake vave mu life yake, and that will be very good for his mental health as well, because ananga in a balance here baba na mai. And by the way mothers raise children and the way fathers raise children is different. It's totally different. So a child needs the balance here. Love ya mai kunze sadar mwana pointa ya baba iritafi ya wana. So kuti mwana iti well rounded. Pane inonzi na TDJs undescribable chiti vamwe vana their mama to death because vanonge vakanyenyowandirwa nelove yamai yaye zvokuti anobva atovhiringika psychologically. So kana uchitorambidza mwana anofanira kuita balance, zvokuti ukatorambidza mwana kuona baba wake, that's child abuse because anotovhiringika somewhere psychologically.
Someone says, thank you, Fadzi, for bringing this topic. It's very important. We are no longer raising our children the way we were. I hope a lot of parents are listening, because this naughty corner thing, it's out of control. This guy's on the other side of Samora, naughty corner, does it apply? Can I apply? And how are children being raised? And can I tell scan say on the other side of Samora? Hit me up on 0719100404. Join the conversation. We are in the situation room. And my dad died in 2005, and you feel Kuti, if he was around, I would not have had the challenges that I had in life. Mumwakati panapa zviri kutaurwa Mono Mkundu mashoko akanaka chaizvo ndichiwa apa Baroda. Hi Glenda, I agree with Mono, and I would love to have his number. Maybe pane conversation yavanoda kuzoita.
Yeah, that's okay.
But takatesa now yema building blocks. Boniface, let's talk about this. Let's unpack this. What do we need to do? And are there differences in building blocks based on gender?
I think some of them are circumstantial, but when I look at them, I look at society at large. There are certain ideas that typically society has been packaging into the children. From our African society perspective, for example, let's say there's a newly married couple. Kupembererwa kunoitwa mwana musikana kunenge kwakata sokuti siyanei nekupembererwa kunoitwa mwana mukomana.
Zvichiri kuitika ere Boniface?
Zvichiri kutoitika. I have cases which I cannot mention for obvious reasons, but then I ask myself, putting the gender equality aspect in perspective, is it still necessary for society kuti zvinzi kana ari mukomana akudza dzinza adi, kana ari musikana anongonzi makorokoto? Already we are noticing some gender discrepancies that are there. And are we packaging, if we say children are packages, are we packaging them the right way? And I wanted to ask Mono, is it possible for a parent or for parents to put the wrong building blocks into their children's hearts and minds?
It's very possible. It's very, very, very possible. And it comes to the issue that we mentioned earlier, there's a difference between raising a child and maintaining a child. Pane vamwe vanotozikana kunzi vane kwakati, they behave like this, vane kwakati vanogara vachingorwa neraini rese, vane kwakati is how they were raised kumbeko. Especially, and a very good example is when like parents fight in front of children.
Kwete just fight Mono. Pane zvimwe zvinhu zvokuti ndiri single mother and I'm inviting men, different men,
boyfriends.
What am I teaching my child? For me, I find it so wrong at so many levels.
Yeah, because that's why chonoti pane anonzi ma generational problems. So yekuti problem ikangotanga mufamily inoramba ichitwa passed on. It's usually caused nenyaya idzodzo dzekuti amai varongonza maboyfriends pamba, varongonza maboyfriends pamba, mwana obva atongoti ndo life yacho, iwo vangotanga ngodzidzirawo futi the same thing achingoningira pakashaya munhu anozvibreaka zvinoramba chingoitwa passed on. So it answers your question kuti do parents affect the nature yenhingiri yevana vavo? It really does.
Yes. And I think on this, Glenda, you'll be the appropriate person to comment. I've heard most of the times women on Father's Day celebrating and saying, today I'm celebrating Father's Day because I'm both the father and the mother of my child or of my children, and they will be meaning it.
Yeah, because I'm playing both roles.
What do they?
I'm playing both roles. I'm playing father and mother. The father is not there, so I should get Father's Day present.
Is it true if you walk, maybe they are separated or whatever, if you walk up to your child and say, hey, I'm your father, I'm your mother, does it make sense? Is it true? Is it appropriate?
When you put it that way, it doesn't. But don't we have situations where mother plays both roles? I don't know.
There are also cases where fathers play both roles.
Yeah.
So I think each moon and Dango got him corner man. Can I Father's Day, each Father's Day, can I Mother's Day, Mother's Day.
Right.
Yeah.
Join the
Father's Day, Mother's Day, Valentine, Dim right and charge for Tisaka to the corner apartment.
All right. In Drupa was 0719100404. Join the Situation Room. It's Bonfest alongside Glenda. And we're in the studio with Mono Mkundu. 0772269229. Those are our calling numbers. 0772269241. Let's just quickly pick up a call. Capitalk 100.4 FM. Good afternoon.
Hello, hi, Glenda.
Hi, good afternoon. Who are we talking to? Where are you calling us from?
I'm Mantana, phoning from Medina, Harare.
All right, please go ahead with your contribution.
Firstly, I would like to thank you kuti waita basa waunza muno pa program yako iyi. Ari kutaura zvine musoro. Ini nditori neexperience. Cousin yangu anogara ku-UK and she is in Ndebele. Unoziva isusu mashona tikaenda kuna na-UK vana vedu vanodzoka vasisagone shona. Iye vana vake vanotaura Ndebele. They can communicate nana mbuya vavo. Isusu vedu tikadzoka navo kuno hatichatombokwanisa. I can take for example vangu they cannot communicate nana mai vangu because ndandiri ku-UK. Atitombogara pasi nevana ichivadzidzisa shona. Saka urikuona kuti iproblem itori kuparenting because unoona uchitifunga kuti kuita zvechirungu but ukaenda kune like iwo ndikutaura kuti vana vake vanokomuniketa nemafamily members avo ese. It's actually inoreflecta zvakaipa kwatiri isusu because kana vana vangu ndauya navo kuno kuti havakwanisi kutorana nambuya vavo hazvichitoreva chinhu ndichinda kuinterpret kuti apa ari kuti apa ari
wakutomira sainterpreta paya.
Saka ndiri kuona kuti tiri kutorasika zvakatonyanya hamino kuti tiri kuenda kupi. Saka thank you very much for bringing that in the program by radio. I hope maparents akatendera because vana vakutoita zvisirizvo ichindikuita zvechirungu vanonguti mwacha vamboita izvozvo.
Anzu unochifunga kuti wakapenga iwe uchipenga. Thank you so much for your contribution. Do enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, do continue to send through your messages. You can also call us on 0772269241 or 0772269229. Mubunzo ndiwo wekuti, what are we doing to...
Can we respond to what she said?
You want to respond? Go ahead.
Who's one of my best examples panyaya wangu vachitaura is the Marairi family vana Chioniso. Chioniso was born ku USA, ku America. Zvoti pakauya muZimbabwe vanhu vaitofunga kuti musalad haagone shona, and they were surprised kuti aitogona shona. Because hanzi baba vacho vaitaura kuti kana masvika mugedhi mato muZimbabwe kumba kwavo kuAmerica ikoko kuWashington. So I think as Africans we've got serious colonial hangover, because what happens with colonialism is the first thing that it removes away from you is self-pride. Because katasa vanhu vazhinji vakacolonized, they are not proud of who they are, and muno muZimbabwe we are not proud of who we are, and as Africans we are known that we kill our messiahs and celebrate strangers. That's why you know even up to now tikati zvikoro zvekunzi vana chechu izvi zvibviswa mazita akanzi chechu zvinzikana kuti chaminuka but vana chechu mwacho vamuri kucelebrate vangatori maracist vasingatofarira vanhu vatema. Unotoona munhu akatoisa chisaini chaHitler cheche Hitler angasingadi kuona vanhu vatema, but saka pane that colonial hangover yatina as black people worldwide yekuti right now of course tofanira kunamatira vana kuUkraine kwaikwai, but tasona kuMozambique kune hondo tanisi kuvanamatiri, kuDRC kune hondo dzisiri kupera tanisi kungambodzinamatiriri, but tauda kumhanya nonamatira vari uko inokatarisa vanhu vatema vari kuburiswa matrains ziburuka mutrain vatoyada kutiza hondo. So as black people I think we need that self pride here yekuti like inowanikwa maAsians yekuti maAsians they teach vanhu vavo mavalues avo, languages dzavo, so zvinoita kuti munhu aite self pride. And as black people katarisa we don't have role models. Because role models anenge aingodemonizwa pakaisa sechi yambuya nehanda chaiva vanhu vangotaura kuti hanzi it's idol worship papi she's a war hero period. Those are celebrate. So I think she's got a very good point.
Nice one. All right, Anzi, we are still colonized mentally. Nah, Mono Mukundu, we need to emancipate ourselves. All right, 15 minutes before 3 o'clock. Capitalk 100.4 FM. Good afternoon.
Hello, Glenda.
Good afternoon. Who are we talking to? And go ahead with your contribution.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Situation Room, Mashokonde Butichi.
Mashokonde kuti ndine zvinhu zviviri. Chekutanga ndechekuti ichokwadi mwana ndeyedu tese zvotiwa na mono ndeyedu tese tinofanira kunge tichimurera tese tichimuona tese nyonyo katadzirana. Chechipiri ndechekuti kana tikatadza kuwirirana varume vazhinji vari kuzviuraya nenyaya yekutya kubuda mumba, nenyaya yekutya society yatinogara, kuti watadza kuva responsible father yokutadza kurera vana vako. Kunyange amai vavo vari wrong, mai vanozokonzeresa kuti vana vade iye mai kudarika inini. Uye mutemo wemunyika handizive mazuva ano makare kare ayo wakanga uchirerekerawo zvakare kumadzimai. Saka ndofunga kuti kana mai tadza kunzwanana baba namai, tauriranai, achasara nevana ngaaudze vana chokwadi. Musi weFathers Day mocelebrate Fathers Day nokuti vana vana baba. Musi weMothers Day mocelebrate Mothers Day nokuti vana vana mai. Zvimwe zvese zvokutadzirana kwenyu zvorega kukanganisa vana. Unonzwa munhu achiti handiri kuona panapa nokuti nini vana ava ndevangu, ari mudzimai kana ari murume, asi munhu iyeye ari kukanganisira upenyu hwemwana.
Datinda Mashoko, thank you so much. Anyone who wants to say something, Mono?
Yeah, Nyema suicide yataura is very true. Right now, my suicide rates worldwide have gone very high. And there was name like what he mentioned with the mitemo around the world. Because number mentioning the Western world end up my extremes. Panitime yawe bata wakadzi vao rafu. We never ill-treated our women like that. Even before colonialization, there's story na gender-based violence. Because muno waitunzuka roa mai zvinengozi. Wana muAfrica mukadzi aitwanikwa like a god. Kana uchitobva pamba mukadzi wako kana asingafara kwauri kuenda zvinogona kufamba zvisafamba musha. But the Western world yaitreata vakadzi vavo zvakaipa. Then pakatanga feminism, then move to the extreme right. Vakutanga demonize varume, vakutanga kuti hanzi toxic masculinity. This wakutanga kushora everything about being a man, kutanga as if it's a crime to be born a man. So kanotasa mitemo yese yaku Western world manje yakudzvanyira varume. Saka one thing chinonetsa manje ndechekuti anything chikangoitika ku Western world, make sure kuti kuAfrica chinotouya, because we still worship the West tisingaiti. So right now even mitemo mizhinji around the world yakungoita kamuka kusapota vakadzi zvekuti mukadzi angotaura kuti Boniface andibata chibharo, vanhu vachatomutsvaga evidence. Vakutotanga unoiti wakanyama paFacebook pese pasocial media pese kunzi Boniface ndasungwa, Boniface imbwa yemunhu chichichichi, iwo time side rako charo harichatomboteererwa. Saka ye masuicide rates yamenshina is very true worldwide. Masuicide rates evarume ari kukwira singaiti. And then right now I think mafeminists are supposed to be celebrating because zvese zvavairwira zvese vanazvo. Saka there's no need kuti chingoramba chingoti maanazvo mitemo mane mitemo iri kuprotecta, because there's hapana pachazombopera uipi hwese kunzi pasi pese uipi hwese hwapera. Muchangoramba mine vamwe varume vakashata, mine vamwe vakadzi vakashata, ende nyange mukaita sipo yakawanda sei muchangoramba muchisangana vanhu vane tsvina vari kunhuhwa murodhi. But point yangu ndeyekuti it's high time we look at both sexes and treat both sexes with respect.
Nice one, I like that.
I've got a quick question, Glenda, for Mono.
Okay.
In terms of looking from a gender perspective, at what stage is it appropriate of the definite and unavoidable responsibilities that await him when he grows up to be a man? He's supposed to be a provider, like what Glenda was saying, because suicide I get an impression that murume akafila kuti haazi murume anenge atadza kumita some of the expectations the society expects him to meet, and therefore it hits him hard. Ofunga kuti I'm not worthy to live. At what stage, as part of putting my building blocks, tinotanga kuguruma mwana at what stage? Because kana akura anenge akunzi nevasikana nditengere data, ndiisire fuel, ndigadzirise musoro, but akakura achingonzi makangofanana. At what stage should he be able to know that inini takafanana zvedu, but as a man Isha should be able to do. Yeah,
that's one of the biggest lies of feminism. We are the same. Men and women,
we are not the same.
They are not the same. My scientists antora, they are more than 2,600 differences between men and women. That's why even kuma sports varume vachimhanya kwavo vega vakadzi vachimhanya kwavo vega. Masikiro aMwari wayo. We have to celebrate those differences, not to cause them kuti zvitokonzeresa kuti tirwe. Men and women are not the same. We are totally different. Saka, coming to your question, one of the reasons why we have so many weak men these days is because weak men wakapusa tinofana wakapusa sikaite mazano. It's because nyaya varume vasiri kurarama mulife dzevana vavo. Because mwana akangokudzwa angori namai ari mukomana arongogara mumba ngori nemadzimai chete unoziva kuti kuchikoro kungori feminine kamune maangogara kudai masculine kuchechi kungori feminine mune maangogara muchingoparidzirwa muchingoningirira maangogara. So munhu anopedzera pusa. Munhu anofanira kukura mufamily muna baba naamai, amai vachimupa soft love yamai, baba vachimupa tough love yekuti akangoda kuchema unzi zenya zvekuti baba vanopa tough love ndinototi mukomana asimbi. Saka, coming to your question, kubvira atori mudiki ndaatodzidziswe to be strong. Ona kwete
hazisizo zvichakonzeresa masuicide here because muchati zvona I'm not supposed to
zvitokonzeresa masuicide. It's lack of masculinity iyoyo ndozvitokonzeresa masuicides because munhu anenge apusa achagoni kushanda havasina. Because right now ukatarisa eno zvevarume, bhuku rangu randakanyora iri rinonzi men vacuum, means there's a vacuum yevarume, unzi varume vakushayikwa. Wana because vakungoita feminine. Ukatarisa zvinezvi fanira kwedu music industry varume vachengetwa nevakadzi vakawanda. That's not being a man. A man is supposed to hunt, should have that hunting spirit yekuvhima. And even kuvakadzi it's not attractive kana murume usinganingirine usingavhime because vakadzi they are attracted to power, they are attracted to provision.
But vanai hakuna here madzimai anoda kutochengetawo ndochida kungochengetawo zvangu.
That's a lie. Vakadzi havatodi kuchengeta.
Saka ivo vamukuti mamusicians yawo uri kuti chii chiri kuitika nesera
ndavashande ndavatsvage mari because we know kuti music haina mari muno muZimbabwe zvekudaro. Saka unofanira kutsvaga iside haso kuti main haso music yoita side haso kwete kuti unogara pamba uchengetwa nemukadzi wakagara pamba.
Saka iwe uri kuti mukadzi uyo ari kuchengeta these so called musicians wamuri kuonawo vari kuchengetwa nemadzimai, haasi kuda here mudzimai ekuchengetawo hake
atongori pataita haasi kuda. Hapana munhu arimboda kuchengeta. That's chinoti pese panonetsana murume nemukadzi kana murume anga achichengetwa anoitwa kanyama. Mukadzi anoenda paFacebook live akutaura nemasocks aboniface anofumura zvese. Wambondipa pawakambonzwa murume achipopotera mukadzi kuti mukadzi uyu muchimudiona makadai makeup yese ndindakatenge wambonzviona chiitwa kuti bcause zvimwe zvinhu zvitori munature chaimo. It's not socialization because right now we are giving too much credit to socialization. Varume gender it's not natural, it's a social construct. Gender is not a social construct. Gender is natural. Of course social construction so edifier, but gender is natural. I don't know if you know of the John Juan case here in Canada. This child was born a man vavhiringa sikarudzi yake pacircumcision vamuti ngatimukudze ari musikana ende musati mumbofamba kamuudza kuti akazvarwa ari mukomana, then socialize him into a girl because vaita mabeliefs kaari kumazana ekunzi hanzi unosocializwa mwana anosocializwa kufarira zvidhori, mwana anosocializwa kufarira. That's a lie. Saka mwana wayo akatokudzwa achitofunga kuti musikana atoitwa plastic surgery ari mudiki kudaro akatobaiwa mahormones ekuti azobude mabreast and everything, but paakanga kupinzwa dress akaribvarura pakutamba angoda kutamba achiita wrestling zvinoitwa nevakomana zvidhori anga asingadi kusvika atozobvunza mai vake kuti what's wrong with me because I don't feel like a girl. Svika mai vazomuudza and then he committed suicide 2014. Zokuti ukatitsvaga online right now kungati the John Juan case of Canada ndo zvinoratidza kuti gender is not a social construct, it's natural. Unotozvarwa kuti uri murume ende varume ende ukatotarisa masikiro atikatona Mwari kapa vakadzi ndi vakanzi vanozvara vana. So because vanozvara mwana vakabva vapiwa patience, vapiwa my emotions. That's why vakadzi vari very emotional, vaine patience. That's why even motikari kanye ichitengeswa notonyorwa kunzi this was lady driven because vakadzi vane patience, havatodi marisk maqualities anoita kuti munhu ukwanise kuchengeta mwana. Varume bvatapiwa aggression yekuti we were very competitive, we don't care about my feelings around winning, we care about winning. Zveve kuti ukwanise kuita same kuvhima even pa strength chavo varume they are stronger than women. Saka those differences are not a crime. those differences are supposed to be celebrated. Saka, coming back to your question, vakomana ndavadzidzikobvira vatori vadiki chaivo kuti vakomana you have to be strong, unofanira kutotsvaga even kutomitira tough love chaivo kuti kana angoti kure kuti itobhadharawo rent pamba panapa azive kuti mari inotsvagwa asizobvunduke ndopanozoona kuti munhu angozoti amitisa akutanga kutiza.
Mono, someone comes through panapa ari kutokublast hanzi you are not civilized, hanzi wewe hanzi kara kedu futi is no longer useful, hanzi as well imimi kana makuda kuti chikoro muchichineima kuti chaminuka nehanda school vakai chenyu moda kuwaka makuda kuchinja zita say wakai chenyu kudhara all evil acts were there but there was no social media.
Okay, saka ari kuti question
hanzi musaramba mchingoti kudhara
yeah, history informs the present. You can never run away from history. That's not Vanatema, we are the only ones who know about slavery, know about colonialism, but my Jews right now, they are still celebrating and commemorating the Holocaust. Hitler. They are still commemorating Kubudam Egypt. Because people right now, my scientists, they are not even sure of Egypt, but they still commemorate that. But black people were socialized, or the black people were brainwashed to forget about their history. That's why tine vanhu vakaita seuyu ari kutotaura kuti hanzi ningiri chikoro ngachisanzi chamini ndo vanhu vanochitaura yakuti they were colonized, they are colonized, pfungwa dzavo dzichiri colonized, they still need emancipation. Because how can you, we have chikoro chinonzi chechu muZimbabwe tisina chikoro chinonzi chaminuka kuningiri kunonzi kuengland. We are still colonized, we still worship the West.
I disagree with this listener as well, Glenda, because
you too?
When they say Karek is no longer useful, what about language yedu? What about culture? Most of us don't even know vanoma surname yao yakatanga kushanda. How long back does it go into history?
And it's always black people.
And that's part of our yes, it forms part of our identity. So we can't disregard yesterday simply because we are living today, forgetting to do kwataka.
Do you know what most of the things that Nona Sauna Tema says right now ukaenda ku United Nations wana Putin vaya kana address United Nations ano address ne language yake usafunga kuti agone English ndakatona one documentary share ne proper English but ku Europe manje kuvachena speaking your language is power. It shows power. Isi kuno kumaitofunga kuti kutaura chirungu sterek, that's power. But every time zvatinofunga ndozvinoshamisa ndozvatinopesa ndozosakatine vanhu vakaita seuyu ari kuti hanzi vakaicheni chikoro chiri muZimbabwe. We can't have chikoro chinonzi chechi muZimbabwe.
Pane munhu ari kukuwira hanzi 5 minutes ndiri kusvika apa minotada
ndauya I'm ready. Ndine fan belt yekati.
Nice one, gentlemen, we've run out of time. We have to get out of the situation room, but thank you so much for your time. We have to pick it up another day, but thank you so much. Your parting shots in under a minute. Mono.
Okay, my parting shots are, let's raise our children. Let's stop just maintaining our children. Children gain more from your time than from your money. So let's raise children. Let's stop maintaining children.
I'm coming for a debate. It's like 5 minutes.
I mean, knows that one thing about me. I love my debates because I'm well read, I'm well researched. So any debate, I'm ready, any minute, anytime.
Nice one. One first, it's been good.
Yes, I thank you. I think it's important for society to guard and guide their children accordingly by placing inside their children the appropriate and right building blocks in terms of ideas, beliefs, and even culture. And identity is important. Identity is important. They should know who they are, where they're coming from, and where they're going.
All right, so from Bronfus Chimedza, Glenda Takachicha, Mono Mukundu, it's been great. We do this again next week.
Well, it's monosophical. It is what it is. We say it like it.